All right, guys, you're welcome to another Views from the Stand. My name is Idafe Machias. You're gonna have got a full house today. Nobody, locked up in the locker room. Everybody's starting from the starting block, and we've got a lot to get off our chest within the next 30 minutes. So let's get on with it. I've got Bobby. I've got a new man who looks like Oliver the Cook or Odumego Juku. But his name is Ryder Atetokounmpo. So first, let's start with that. And then we've got Mario Leo, the encyclopedia, Daniele, my teammate, my friend, my brother, family. And then we've got the baby of the hours, Abib Ayodeji. And then we've got Nigerian football ancestor. For those of you who's asking me of his book, we're going to say something out of this book. It hasn't times on the same road. We're going to say something out of it, but a whole lot of other things will come up in the course of the show. This weekend, Nigerian teams will be playing on the continent. Hopefully, they win. And the funny thing is, all Nigerian teams last weekend played at home. So this weekend, all of them are going to play away from home. Ryder, let's start with you. You're a fan of Liverpool. You have a lot to get out of your chest. But before you get that out of your chest, why is your name Atetokounmpo on social media?
Well, my name is actually Francis, although I'm from Benue State, but right from time in school, I've been called Adetokunbo because of I once tell my classmate I am related to one then Adetokunbo in school, so that was like the easiest way they can remember me because then I used to be a dancer for the school, so right Adetokunbo became. But my name is Francis Odo, actually.
Okay, fine. Let's go straight to the conversation. I really don't know where to start because I'm caught off with options, so much options. But I'm going to start with Mario. Mario, once upon a time, I'm a fan of Arsenal. And if you know that, we are the suffering club of European football. We've been beaten by Barcelona, by Liverpool, by everybody. The last 20 years have been hell. But there's a different type of hell that we went to. We became the feeder team for Liverpool, Oxlade-Chamberlain. We became the feeder team for Manchester United, Robbie Van Persie, for Barcelona, and a host of other clubs, Manchester City, and the rest of them. It's looking now like the German Bundesliga as a whole is the feeder team for Barcelona, Real Madrid, the Spanish La Liga, the English League, and a few other leagues. What is happening? Don't forget that as a Nigerian, we grew up loving the German Bundesliga. The days where Anthony Yeboah, Austin Jejo Okocha, Victor Agali, Jonathan Kpobore all played. Karibo Ojigwe played in this German Bundesliga. We grew up loving it and looking at it as one of the top league alongside the Dutch league where we have Kano Aqua and what's it called? Finidi George playing for Ajax, then Olise, then Tijani Babangida. What's happening to the German Bundesliga? Has it watered down? Why is it not the feeder league to other leagues?
Not watered down. It's just the process of the evolution, yeah, and through digital transformation. Obviously, through digital transformation, we see that the Premier League has started in the 1980s and 1990 to make their individual clubs known worldwide. Spanish La Liga does exactly the same to make their clubs worldwide. For the last 4 or 5 years, La Liga broadcasts in India, exclusivity on the YouTube channel, La Liga 2 matches, which you can consume free of charge, but it's also it's for the purpose of getting the clubs known, the crests known, the logos known, the players known, yeah, the traditions and the history known. And Germany, including Serie A in Italy actually as well to some extent, they forgot to use the digital economics, and basically Germany has the issue of just about 100 million people around the world speaking the German language. So we forgot that only 100 million speaking German, and we continue to communicate only in German. And obviously, when the whole world is learning English, and we have this conversation here in English, obviously you should need to communicate and foster your traditions and your clubs in English language. And Germany has started very late on that, and that's now obviously an outcome where Germany on international basis has not achieved that. When you look into the Premier League and the La Liga's revenues on broadcasters, they come majority now from outside, yeah, from broadcasting around the world. And Germany just have about 12, 13, 14 major countries who are revenue drivers for the broadcasting perspective, Nigeria being one of them. But obviously, that's obviously hurting the clubs, and obviously this season similar to Ligue 1, not as dramatic and drastic as Ligue 1, but the international broadcast revenue coming back to the clubs is obviously challenged. And some of you might have heard about the proposal or the tender that Deutsche Fußballliga had out. And the zone obviously complained about the process of the packages, and now the tender process has been stalled, and it's going to be into a legal battle. So obviously the zone is obviously now, sort of threatening the Bundesliga further on international relevance. And obviously with that less revenue coming in, you need to sell players to compensate your annual budgets and your annual revenues, because you still run as corporate entities. You need to make profit, and if you don't make profit through broadcasting or people paying to watch your games, you need to make profit by selling players. And usually the best possible players and the best possible talent is bought at first. And obviously that's why we see Timo Werner playing for Spurs, Kai Havertz playing for Arsenal, Dani Olmo now leaving RB Leipzig and goes to FC Barcelona. Will miss the first 2 or 3 games because Barcelona is unable to register him because of financial regulations. But obviously still the players leave the Bundesliga, which is a shame. And that's something obviously to work on for the Bundesliga and for the DFL. It's not a club mistake. It's just an entire league strategic mistake.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Sometimes we look from afar, like I am, and I'm confused. Thank you for the succinct education. That's why it's a privilege having you on this side of the divide. I'm confused where to go now, but let's start with Bobby. Bobby, the English League is back. The Premier League is back. It feels like it is witchcraft to start Ipswich on 2. Come on, who draws such a fixture? This team have not been in the Premier League for over 20 years. And then they came back. First off, you give them Liverpool. Liverpool is a mean, evil group of people. When they see that team that they can devour, they're like a predator. They devour them. I mean, 2-0. Now they're playing Man City next. What kind of wickedness is that? Is it a case of the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer? If you get promoted, you must get relegated. Remember last season or so, the season before, all 3 promoted teams got relegated. Talk me through the whole fixture thing in the Premier League, and then give me your own take of the top half teams in the Premier League.
So I would say it's an unfortunate way to welcome Ipswich to the Premier League, but that's the way it goes. Some people feel that those fixtures are rigged. In some cases,
feel
when you
so
look
anyway.
at it might seem that way, but it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I know there are some things that are going to those making of those fixtures, but it's just the way it is. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. Anyhow you find it, Ipswich will still have to play Man City at some point in the season.
Not back to
and
back.
That's what the Premier League is.
Shouldn't be back to back.
Yeah, but not back to back. Exactly.
Exactly.
But everybody can complain, but everybody can complain. Sometimes there are times that was it Arsenal or Man U, Manchester United that had 3 tough fixtures back to back, and they complained, but they have to take it like down the chin and go and run with it. Coming to the top half of the team, I think there are some things I see that I fall off based on how they performed last season. Starting from the back, I would say Tottenham. Tottenham, yeah, they kind of gave people false hope. Some people were saying that they're going to go for the title last season when they were performing pretty well. Yes, Ange is always fixed on his principles, playing his fast-paced, expansive, attacking football. It leaves them sometimes prone open at the back to transitions, and we all know that they are frail. They don't have a solid spine, and when you look at it, they will struggle against organized teams. Not just organized top teams, but also organized teams who are even at the lower part of the table, limited to the lower part of the table. As long as you're organized, compact, you can get something against a Tottenham. Also, we look at they're going to be fighting on multiple fronts this season. The usual second season syndrome for Ange. The loss of Højbjerg, who is a leader, gives the team some form of steel, has a strong mentality. And basically, I would say Tottenham are just a butterfly who thinks themselves a bird. And I see them finishing ninth. Next, I would say Aston Villa. Aston Villa losing a key midfielder, because the midfielder is their strong point, and losing a key midfielder in Luis, who brings a lot to the team, mentality, creativity, progression of the ball going forward. He's not there. Onana, to me, is not that man. He might bring some things, but I think Onana is a limited player. He's just overhyped. Another loss is Diaby, who went to Al Ittihad. That's a big miss. He's very versatile, plays on the left, plays on the right, and they have lost him. They will play and for basically a mid-table team competing in the Champions League and competing for top 4 is pretty difficult. Also, you have to check. You also have to check other factors with teams around them. So when you put all these factors together, basically Aston Villa, I see Aston Villa falling off. Next will be Newcastle. Newcastle have a lot of problems. It's a funny one because Newcastle finished 7th last season, and I see Newcastle more like one step forward, one step back. So more probably, I see them finishing in the same position, 7th. And when you look at them, you look at their defense, it's an aging defense. Don't have enough options. They've lost Sportsman. They've lost Lascelles. Even though they bring Guehi is not enough to transform that team. And if they don't have multiple functions, they're aging. You look at their they don't have Europe quite all right, but I think that they're going to struggle. And it is really a struggle because you said Eddie Howe has been there for 3 years plus.
Yeah.
They have the money, they have no Europe, and they're still not going to get there. You also check off the field problems. The loss of the co-owners, Stephanie, Guduzi, is going to affect them. The change of the structure. Sporting director has been changed, and he came in pretty late, Paul Mitchell. And when you look at Paul Mitchell, Eddie Howe is not his man. So Eddie Howe's stance is shaky. Also, there's uncertainty over his future because he's also being linked to the England job. I see Newcastle finishing in 8th.
Wow.
Then we look at what is their name? Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool is the next one. I don't see slotting in
Be
well.
careful.
Yes, there's been so much drama, so much talk from the preseason and to the first game of the season. Is the first game, and even in the first game, there are warning signs. Preseason is preseason. When Liverpool usually do well, they're not usually perfect in preseason. So I don't look much into preseason. Coming to the season, Klopp, with the exit of Klopp, definitely a monumental figure like that. He goes out, of course, to be felt in the team. When you look at Slot plays, when you talk about his own system, it's a different system. He tends to beat from the midfield, plays with a double pivot. He has a destroyer and he has a conductor, or as the Italians say, a regista. Endo is more of a stopgap, and Endo is not a regista. He's not a conductor. And even Slot doesn't even trust him. McAllister is not a destroyer. He's more of an 8-10. Even though we saw what he brought last season, we saw what he's bringing this season, but he's better to play further forward in the team. Liverpool cannot attract players. Zubemeni is a typical example. They are unable to attract, even though they're close to signing Madasvili, but Madasvili is not going to be a first-team player. He's still going to go on loan, which means they're even planning for life after Alisson. Still going forward. Look at there's contract issues concerning 3 major players: Van Dijk, Salah, and Trent. Their contracts end next summer, which means there's uncertainty concerning them. Also, how strong is the spine of Liverpool? How strong is the spine of Liverpool? I also see Liverpool, when it comes to the head-to-head battles with key rivals, I see them struggling. Coming to Old Trafford in like a week's time, I don't see them leaving with any points. And by mid-October, they could be finding themselves far, far behind because they have back-to-back games against Arsenal and Chelsea, which is going to be very difficult. Against Man City, they might struggle also. For Liverpool, with all these things considered, basically after they play those 2 games, it will be clear that Liverpool is going to have a very long season. For Liverpool, I see them finishing in 5th. They're not going to make the Champions League. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, so don't say anything anymore because there's someone here who have a lot to remove off his chest. Ryder, does this make you a little bit at peace? He's a Man United fan, or does it infuriate you more? Does it gas you up the more to say, you know what, I talk him. This is what I've been trying to say. Let's hear what you've got to say.
Yes. It's quite funny. You made a good a few good points, but saying Liverpool will fall off the Champions League spot, it's a no from me. Because yes, quite all right, we lost Klopp, but the solid and the base of which Liverpool is built on is its tradition, and the tradition lies within the fans, the connection between the coach and the fans and the team on the pitch. Liverpool lost Klopp, changing the whole system. Slot came in. It didn't change a lot. Mind you, last season Liverpool wasn't even that balanced. They were called for certain players in certain positions or re-strengthening, which was not done. But still, the team still finished third. This is a team who hasn't changed much. But all we Liverpool fans are just asking for is getting a proper six, getting somebody to sit right in front of the back four and make things happen. We lost Fabinho. Before Fabinho, we lost Gini Wijnaldum and Anderson. But Gini Wijnaldum was very important and instrumental to our Liverpool play. Yes, he is very correct. Losing Klopp is a very big figure, but these players, these boys are ready to play. They are ready. The team just need a little bit of strengthening in probably two or three positions for them to go on the long run. Remember, 2 seasons ago, we were at the fourth we're competing in for four trophies. Last season, we're close, they will drop off. That is the reason why we're crying for a six. Get us a six, and most definitely, I see the team doing that. But what they're trying to do is new structure, new coach. They're trying to clear off the air, and now we'll begin to see the chase. It might be quite a very short window for us now, going by the time, just a week before the window shuts down. But Liverpool is not far off. We still have the Salah, we still have the Salah, we still have the Trent, we still have the Van Dijk, we still have the Alisson, we still have McAllister. So I
Okay.
quite understand, but
Okay.
but we're not far off.
I'm
We're
not.
not
I'm not
far
even
off.
going to get into that argument.
Liverpool will
Liverpool
still finish
suffering or Man
in the.
United suffering makes me happy. So it's none of my business. If you guys want to die, go and die. I want to reel out a list, and you guys follow me on these names. There was this group of people that came together in a time of national disgrace and adversary. And Daniele, this is to you. When these men banded together, there was Calciopoli problem, there was relegation for Juventus, AC Milan, and a lot. The world was not expecting anything from them. They went out as a bunch of disgrace, but came back as a national group of national hero. From Marco Materazzi to Massimo Odo, Andrea Pello, Simeone Perrotta, Gianluca Zambrotta, Filippo Inzaghi, Simeone Baroni, Mauro Camoranesi, my man, Vincenzo Riacquinta, Marco Amelia, Alessandro Nesta, Angelo Peruzzi. A lot of people did not know that he was part of that squad. Alberto Gilardino, your man that you're working with, Francesco Totti, Luca Toni, Gennaro Gattuso, Alessandro Del Piero, the man who have 1,000 glasses, even though we have somebody who's gone 1,000 times on the same road. We also have Andrea Bazzagli, Fabio Cannavaro, the only defender to have won the Ballon d'Or, and deservedly so. Daniele De Rossi, the man who is the right register, the man who sits in front of the center back and say, we all die here, nobody's going anywhere. Fabio Grosso, Christian Zaccardo, and the leader of men, the man amongst men, Gianluigi Buffon. And when I say this, it takes us back to 2006. My question for you, Daniele, where are they now and what are they doing? The Italia national team of 2006, the all-conquering Italian team of 2006. Where are they now and what are they doing?
I think they're doing quite well, because if you've played a long time as a professional footballer, I think financially you should be okay. So
Yeah.
I think they're doing well. But apart from that, there's many of them that have become very good managers. And this year is going to be very interesting. And actually, the next game is going to be next weekend, is going to be very interesting, because there's 3 of them are Serie A coaches now. 3 of them are Serie B coaches, and they're coaching teams with ambitions to go back to Serie A. And for example, you've got a former world champion like Massimo Oddo is coaching in the third tier, Serie C. And you've also got Gattuso, who's had quite a successful career, and now is embarked on this new challenge of coaching Hajduk Split in Croatia, which is a very hot city, with very hot football fans. But in particular, there's, as I was saying, there's three of them are coaching good teams in Serie A. Yeah, one of them is Alberto Gilardino, former striker, and now he's coaching Genoa Football Club. And another one is Alessandro Nesta, and Alessandro Nesta is now coaching Monza. And tomorrow, 8:45 p.m. in Italy, it's Monza against Genoa. So it's a striker against a defender.
Defender.
Okay. Yeah, right. And they were teammates. They played with AC Milan for 3-4 years. They were teammates. And the third one, of course, in Serie A is Daniele De Rossi. And it's very interesting to talk a little bit about their trajectory as coaches. Because, for example, Nesta started with Miami, not Inter Miami. He started in Miami, then he moved to Perugia in Serie B, and then Reggiana, Serie B, where he did reasonably well. And this year, aged 48, I think Nesta is. And he's got this first chance to be the manager of a Serie A club. And Monza are, quite a good club. They've established themselves as a mid-table club under the property of the Berlusconi family. It will be interesting to see what will happen in the future, since Silvio Berlusconi died. And so, we'll see if the members of his family will still be interested in keeping on going on with Monza. But now they've got Nesta as the new manager. And it's also interesting to see Gilardino's career, because he started he really paid his dues, because he started from a Serie D team, and then he went to Serie C, and then he went to the Genoa under-19, and then when he had the opportunity, he took over as a caretaker manager of Genoa Serie B, and then he eventually won the league. And last year he was very successful in rescuing the team, actually having a kind of almost mid-table finish. While Daniele De Rossi had a different type of trajectory, because he started coaching with Spal, which is a small team from Ferrara and Serie B. Things didn't go well. He was sacked after a few games. And then he becomes the caretaker for Roma last year. And he was the only one that could, try to make fans happy, because Mourinho had just been sacked. So Roma needed somebody who was well known to the environment, to the fans, to the many local radios about Roma. And, he was the right guy, because he was, a symbol for the club. At the same time, he can speak Italian. His English is very good. And, the owners of Roma are American. So he can give this kind of international, perspective about the club, which the club had been looking for. He can also speak Spanish, which he learned when he played for Boca Juniors. So he's very local, but he's also very global. So he's I would say, the right man in the right place. And then, you've got Serie B managers like Pirlo, who started from Juventus. And then, he was a bit unlucky, because he started when things were it was the end of a winning cycle. It's never easy for a coach at the end of a winning cycle. He was humble enough to go to Turkey, and now he's back in Sampdoria. Last year he struggled at the beginning, then he reached the playoff, didn't go to Serie A, but now he's got a team that could have that type of ambition. Or Fabio Grosso as well with Sassuolo, trying to go back to Serie A. And Filippo Inzaghi is the coach of Pisa. And Filippo Inzaghi, apart from his experience with AC Milan, has always been in this small Serie A clubs or ambitious Serie B clubs wanting to go up. So it's very interesting to see how, all these former world champions, they all had different paths to their careers. Some of them, like Inzaghi, started with AC Milan almost immediately. Some of them, like Gilardino, started with Serie D and gradually went up the ladder. Some of them, like Cannavaro, went to China. Last year he managed Udinese for a short spell. And so it's interesting to see that, as Lippi said, he said that Marcello Lippi was the coach of that team. He said that in his team he had a lot of future managers, and his
Exactly
prophecy has turned out.
what we're experiencing now. Well, thank you very much for that update, because I'm a fan of the Italian national team. I always want to know where my stars are. Let me go to China. China, you've transversed football all over the world. There's nowhere you've been from Europe, Asia, South America, North America, everywhere following football. You've been a club media officer the longest in Nigerian history. You've also been part of the team that have represented Nigeria on the continent more than any other person. So with you, when we have you, we're going to be schooled. We're going to learn a whole lot. Remo Stars played last weekend. Their winning bonus was 40,000 naira. For me, it's an eyesore. My days of playing for 40,000 naira is like, come on. There's nobody in my system that I pay that amount of money. So I'm wondering, even the cleaner doesn't end that. But if Remo Stars pay 40,000, and then let's just oppose it. I don't know what Academy Warriors pay. I don't know what Imba currently pay. I was not able to get a feedback. But Enugu Rangers paid 100,000 naira as match bonus, but the cumulative camp allowance, because they were not in Enugu, they went to Uyo, came up to $600. So if you put all those things together in naira, it's about 1.2 million. And I know that Mario and Daniele don't understand these chicken feeds that we're talking about, but over here, it's a different conversation. Your time with Dolphin, can you tell us? I mean, we're running out of time now. I'm very, very sorry, but I mean, it is what it is. This match bonus, how does it motivate a team? How does it derail? I mean, put the morale of a team down. Last week, Monday here, you were telling them, telling the Sikiru they should go and win. But with 40,000 naira as match bonus, would that really get them to cross the line?
No, but again, when they sign for the club, I'm sure listening to a spelled out. All clubs cannot pay the same amount of money as sign-on fees, as match bonuses, as wages. So I'm sure when they signed for Remo Stars, they would have had an idea. But for me, I felt it was too small. I wouldn't say it's a shame, because like I said, all clubs can't pay the same. In 2005, which was 19 years ago, 19 years ago, when I was at Dolphins, we played in the CAF Champions League and then the CAF Confederation. For a home game, a home win, the players got 50,000 naira in 2005 for a home win. And for an away win, the players got 100,000 naira. And we had what we called qualifying bonus, which, for example, you play this round of the competition, is home and away. When you qualify, apart from what you get for the home win and away win, you get an extra 100,000 naira as qualification bonus. That's what we did in 2005. And of course, that has nothing to do with the ESTA code. When we go on an away game, the players get $100,000.
Whoa.
As ESTA code. So
no wonder you built an estate. Now I know where the money came from. I've been wondering since. Common journalists.
Let me rub it in. Let me rub it in. The officials got twice as much as players.
Now no wonder you built a castle.
Exactly. Having said that, I'm shocked that in 2024, the Nigerian professional football club playing in the CAF Champions League is paying players 40,000 naira as win bonuses for a game. I'm shocked it's happening, but I'm sure the players knew what they signed up for.
That's less than $50.
No, let's not convert to dollars, because you know how.
No, we can just put it in that conversation so that the internationals that are here, we have a lot of foreigners that are here now.
No, but it makes sense for Daniel and is it Mario. It makes sense to know that we are talking naira right now, and I'm saying that the club I worked for the same kind of game, it's 50,000 naira 19 years ago. It doesn't make sense that you're paying 40,000 naira in 2024.
With inflation and economic issues and all that.
Exactly. So I think it's poor, but the players must have known what they signed up for. All clubs cannot be the same.
All right, let me move back, circle back to Mario. Habib, I'm coming. Okay, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to come to you. Mario, we're talking money now. And money is the name of the game, so they say. Only that Man City who have money, they are not experiencing the name of the game because even with, no, not Man City, Newcastle, sorry. With all the money that they have, they can't boast of winning the league or winning any title. They just went to the cup finals and lost. But let's look at Barcelona. They're building a 1.2 billion euro stadium. There is a whole lot. But every season we hear this reoccurring decima. We want to sign this player, but we cannot register because of financial issue. So you have an Ike Gundogan, who is an impact player, a very good player. You now have to let him go for free so that you can get Dani Olmo in. And it's been happening. When is this going to end? And unfortunately, we have only 3 more minutes remaining. So I'm going to need you to use 2 minutes so that Habib can chime in something. When is this going to end? What's really the problem with Barcelona? Make us understand the financial madness in Barcelona right now.
Well, when Jorge Tebas kind of started their activity, he brought in a specific of economic control framework into La Liga, because obviously things got out of shape. Yeah, Real Madrid and FC Barcelona had their own broadcasting rights distribution. That's why they kind of staggered their championships and decided which one is going to take the championship for the years. Jorge Tebas basically put all the first and second division under very, very strict economical rules and in economic controls. And within that economic control, there's a very, very important factor. And that factor is called squad cost limit. So squad cost limit means that you cannot spend on your annual salaries of your club more than 70% of the annual revenue you overall generate. So if you don't have a number of sponsors, if you don't have a number of broadcasting money, if you don't have all the revenues coming in through ticketing, merchandising, and everything, obviously that is your cost, your economic control factor, and then your squad cost, yeah, is a substantial factor of that. If you look into West Ham, for example, all the revenue West Ham generates, they use about 90% of the revenue for their squad, for salaries and everything. And for the remaining 10%, they work on expand the stadium. They do some other stuff. Yeah, obviously the cost of the marketing men and staff inside the organization, the greenkeepers, the pitch keepers. But 90% flows into the squad cost, which is crazy because that would never be approved in Germany. Because if the broadcasting revenue would go down by 10%, which would mean that West Ham spends 100% of the revenue just for the squad cost. And Jorge Tebas at La Liga have put these squad cost limits into it. And because the salaries Barca played over the last decades, yeah, with Lionel Messi getting somewhere in the range of 100 million plus, yeah, per annum, that kind of exploded their squad control limits. So obviously they are forced to let players go to generate even if they let players free of charge go, that doesn't make their revenue increase because it just saves them their salary. So obviously it's a chicken and an egg, which FC Barcelona has captured in over the last 4, 5, 6 years. And obviously they need to let players leave, even for free, to make space in their squad cost list limitation to register new players. So and that to sell, especially a Dani Olmo, who's becoming European champion, who wants to show his talent to FC Barcelona again, and have to wait patiently 2, 3, 4 weeks until the sporting director have sold their players is a dilemma Barca will face for the next 1, maybe 2 years, because the stadium cost is obviously now also added to the cost they have. So it's really going to be a huge dilemma.
Wow. I would have I'd love to ask a few questions, but we're honestly sincerely out of time. My brother was drinking coffee there. Habib, this is a generational question. In my day, when we watch football, when we follow football, the Zidans, the Figo, Zominia Boban, the Andre Pello, Roberto Baggio, Luda Matheus, Jürgen Klinsmann, Vola, all of these guys, Raul Gonzalez, they were great talent. Ronaldo da Lima, the Brazilian guys. But today it's all about statistics. A player is making 10 passes or 100 passes a game, heat map and all that. What is changing? Is all these statistics affecting football, or it's okay for football? You've got 1 minute, and whatever way you want to use it, wrap us home.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Dafe, for that question. Football is changing and it's ever evolving and it's ever it's constant. The evolution is very constant. Statistics plays like a key role in how you like analyze football matches, and it's a important tool for scouting players, of course. Like some coaches have like a set style of play, and for you to like look for those kind of players, you have to have parameters that key into the kind of attributes you are looking for. The passes, the number of passes the player makes per game, the number of touches, the XG. All these statistics play a vital role in the sport, not only in like scouting, it also plays like vital role in how you interpret the game. Like for example, XG. Like XG is like is this clear-cut chances like a team creating a match. Like you want to know if a team is creating enough chances in a game, you look at the XG, like do they create like enough XG and are they exceeding their XG? A team can be creating like 2.5 XG in a game and they are scoring like 5 or 6 goals. That team is outperforming their XG and it shows that they are not creating enough chances, but they are being clinical in how they play. So these are the ways which you analyze teams and these are the ways which you scout players. A striker can outperform its XG, and this comes down to is this striker being lucky, or is this striker actually a deadly finisher? Like you can have a striker that